Salam alaikum. Welcome to Lifestyle. This is Roya Sadeghi, your host for today. I believe today is going to be a very great day for a couple of reasons. First of all, I have a very nice team here. Second of all, because we have a great recipe. And third, of course, we have a very nice topic to talk about. Working mothers, which is controversial, but of course it is approachable. Working mothers, of course, is very much tangible for all of us, since some of us are the children of working mothers, some of us are working mothers, and some of us are planning to be a working mother in future. So I think all of us know what it takes to be a working mom. We know ups and downs, but still we go for it, because I believe we have been through a lot during the educational system. We have been through a lot during the school time, and of course tough exam nights. So because of that, we have always felt that we are like a caterpillar, so captured in a cocoon and waiting for a chance to turn into a butterfly, take the stage of life and perform. So that's exactly why we are looking for a job and be a working mom in future. So I want you to be with us today. We might be able to address some of your concerns, and we might be able even to show you the wonders of the way that you are walking in. We might be even able to actually show you down the road, and of course we might be able even to hold your hand and tell you, hey sister, stay strong, we know what are you through. So let's go to Nasrin. Nasrin, you have the camera.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to our program today that is, as Sister Roya said, on working mothers. This is, yes, it's a challenge in everyone's life. Even if we're trying to do the absolute right thing, it's still, the challenges come up. And like Sister Roya mentioned, that sometimes we think we've been through so much that we want to perform in the real world. Well, there are options. And I think even now with the modern technology, actually it's the Western women who are showing us that, we can be strong and earn money and be out there and use our productivity as well as raise a family by raising a family. As you see, many of these women are leaders, and so we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But if you have any suggestions or maybe experiences to share, then please don't hesitate to get us on the social media, which is on your screen, and share your suggestions. So over to you.
Thank you very much. So let's go to Fatima. Fatima, so what do you have for us? Surprise us, please.
Okay, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear friends. Today, we're going to actually be making a recipe that I think is going to be really, really useful. And we've actually kept it a surprise to the crew here as well. We're going to be doing, inshallah, hamburgers. And the reason I chose to teach you how to do hamburgers is that when I grew up in Canada, at that time in our town, there weren't like any halal shops, halal restaurants or halal fast food shops that would do burgers. So I spent like almost all of my childhood never having tried hamburgers until we came to
tough.
Yeah, it was really, really tough.
Maybe
like
that's why you're healthy today.
No, but you can actually make really good tasting burgers from healthy recipes. We're going to show you how, inshallah. Stay tuned.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So let's go, of course, to Miss Shamili. I'm going to sit next to you. And so, of course, let's back to the, actually, our topic, working mothers. So it has always been a very big challenge for me. Since I have had a working mom, and I am a working mom. So, and honestly, sometimes I like to support working mothers. Let me ask my question like this. In the past, in traditional families, of course, men were responsible about financial matters. And of course, women were in charge of, household chores and raising kids. But nowadays, the society has changed. So of course, the structure of the families has changed too. So that's why women started to do something different with house chores, and that is working, of course, out of home. At the beginning, it was like helping husbands to get rid of financial burden, but I believe nowadays is not the only reason that women are working. I want to say, why do women work? Is this necessarily because of actually economy crunch, or no, you see something else behind that?
Okay, first of all, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم.
Salam.
Dear Roya,
Salam,
and
mashallah.
also the audience of Lifestyle, watching the program of Lifestyle. Well, why are women working more and more in today's world? In any part of the world, whatever country you're living in the East or the West, women have increasing, they feel this increasing desire and need, the urge inside to work. As one of my friends was saying earlier, they feel a sense of it. Working gives them a sense of identity.
Yes.
Well, why are women working? If you want to go back to the past couple of decades, after the world wars, well, the men were absent
Yes.
from homes.
Yes.
Someone had to work for breadwinning.
Mm-hmm.
And after the industrialization, a lot of factories emerged in the society. They needed cheap labor.
Yes.
So women had to join the workforce. Of course, women were efficient workers. They were organized workers. They listened to their bosses better.
Yes.
And more important than that was that they were cheap labor.
Yes.
They were cheaper than men working. So it started out like that.
So you mean better obedience and of course change.
Yes,
Okay.
of course. They were, somehow you can say they were more submissive
Yes.
to the rules, to the
Yes.
laws. They were better workers.
Mhm.
And they managed the jobs pretty well.
Yes.
You know, there was no difference between the men and the women. In some occupations, the women were even better than the men. At the same time, slowly, this mentality, the mentality of the women in the West, they had problems with their rights. Some of them did not have the basic rights of a human.
Yes.
You know, a lot of them, they did not have the right to vote, the right to own money after getting married, even until not far ago, maybe
Yes.
like 1 century ago or so. Women, when they got married, all their property, all their possessions went to their husbands. And in other civil laws, cases of civil laws, they were not equal to men. So feminism started.
Yes.
The movement of feminism, the 3 waves of feminism, and they wanted to, first of all, fight for the essential rights of women.
Yes.
Later on, when it developed, they wanted equal rights with men. And in order to be a successful person in a society, the mentality told you that you have to be powerful.
Yes.
Financially powerful, socially powerful,
Yes.
so you had to work.
Yes.
If you were a working mom, taking care of the kids, you had no status in the society. You were
Yes.
no one.
Mhm.
You were looked down upon
Yes.
because you felt you're not useful.
Mhm.
So women felt that if they want to earn prestige, if you want to earn value, if you want to be someone important, if you want to be, if they wanted to be someone that they would be proud of themselves, and others would be proud of themselves, proud of them, they had to start working.
Mhm.
They had to become like a man,
Yes.
to take up the roles that were traditionally regarded as male-dominated roles,
Okay.
as males' responsibilities. So they entered the workforce,
Yes.
and along with the feministic movement that was going along, they started from, first of all, entering the jobs,
Yes.
and then gradually they wanted equal pays,
Yes.
equal job opportunities,
Yes.
equality in all aspects of life.
Yes. Okay.
So that's why women found, because of the worldview that was injected into the minds of the whole society, women felt the urge to become valuable citizens of the society.
I think those reasons are still going on.
Yes, I mean, stronger than before.
Stronger than before. So you think so? The driving force behind working moms is kind of a feminism move or something like this?
Definitely. Of course, in order to analyze a social trend, a social change, a social happening at a time, so many numerous factors and variables are working hand in hand to shape a phenomenon.
Yes.
So the occupation of women is not like a single factor thing.
Yes.
Feminism, along with the fact that factories were producing more and more goods, women had to become occupied in the factories, they had to become employed, they were cheap, they were good, and after that, when the products were produced, they needed a market. They wanted to increase the demand of people so that all these purchases, all these products would be sold.
Yes.
So again, women were the most suitable cases to advertise.
Okay.
That's what you see in all over the world. The best cases in advertising are women.
Oh my God.
Because they're so attractive.
Yes, that's true. So far we are condemned, we are actually standing against, working mom or no? We have no actually side right now.
You see, women's occupation or women's employment is not like a yes or no answer.
Okay.
You would be so simplistic to think that you would either say yes, it's good to work, or no, it's forbidden.
So in that case, I can go for the second question.
Okay.
So you are a woman, you are actually working, so you decide to marry and you decide to have a child, but of course you are so determined to continue the work too. So it makes you actually a working mother. So you think this is so much, idealistic. If I think as a mom, as a working mom, I can make a balance between, my domestic role and my professional role. And is it possible? Or you think this is something way beyond the fact?
So you've studied so many years in university, 4 years, 12 years to get your diploma, then 4 years to get your bachelor's degree, and then if you were a successful woman, 2 more years for master's. And,
exactly.
You know, we're talking about such a case. And she gets married. She is a housewife now. She has to take care of, still with the mentality of equal rights and responsibilities in so many parts of the world. But as a matter of fact, practically speaking, it's the women mostly when they get back to home. It's them who have to start cooking, cleaning, and do the house chores. And then if they have kids, well, the situation is going to be so much more complicated, so hard, really, as a working mom.
Yes.
I've experienced it. Of course, I've never worked full-time. I had the chance to, work full-time, but I decided that my family life was priority than my career.
Yes.
So I just, because as personally speaking, I'm talking from my own experience, I felt that all these years of studying and, I just wanted to use this knowledge all these years that I spent my life. But at the same time, I felt that there is something more important than that. I said, I can make a balance.
Yes.
If you have a small child and your child is definitely in need of your love, your compassion, your tolerance. Every second of a small child's life depends on his or her mother. So at that time, as a mother, usually women with the Islamic perspective, they can, the best thing that they can do is to
look at the priorities of their life.
Yes.
Which at that specific stage is to take care of the child.
Yes.
Because no one in the whole universe is more loving and caring than a baby's mother.
True. So true.
Even the kindest babysitter in the entire world, even the best kindergarten that you can send your child, they will never ever replace a mother's love and care.
That's true. Thank you very much. So before going on, I like to have Nasrin idea about this. Be kind and give us some ideas.
Thank you. Well, I think as the representative for women out there, excuse me, I say that perhaps the whole idea of getting an education is maybe the wrong intention. You know, we can get an education to develop ourselves. It doesn't mean the education equals I want to earn money. One thing, because we're not the same people. Anyone who's studied has known they're not the same person before as after an education. And the fact that Islam encourages knowledge, it doesn't mean Islam encourages, okay, just the Quran, just the Hadith. We need to bridge ourselves. We need to be the most advanced in thinking in the world. Otherwise, the West is going to, well, when I say West, I mean the non-Muslim world, will somehow be able to oppress the Islamic world. So the whole idea of education and feeling of value should not be in money.
Yes.
But the purpose behind getting education, getting knowledge, developing ourselves is for our own feeling of self-worth, and that's what we pass on to our children. The child learns the self-worth of the mother, and if we see a lot of the rich families, and I'm not saying don't be rich, if Allah gives it to you, okay, but the children never appreciate how much they've been given. They say, oh, I didn't have my mother, my father's love, this and that they will always see what wasn't given.
Exactly.
So go back to the truth, the essence of Islam, and find out what Allah wants of us. And then that will automatically bring confidence in any field. They will be strong enough to face the world, don't you think?
Thank you very much, Nasrin. Fatima, you can give us a wrap-up of your actually kitchen or anything else, or your opinion, idea about working mothers.
So
we want to know the food.
This pot is sort of screaming, pick me up, pick me up, pick the lid up. All right, so let's go to the hamburger recipe. So while you guys were having this very interesting discussion, I went on and I chopped my onion. I actually diced it really, really nice and fine.
Yeah.
So I basically think, and I disagree with like giving exact measurements, like half a teaspoon of this and 1 teaspoon of that, because I think every family, every culture, they have their they have their own taste and preference, you know. So I'm just going to give you know, like almost this much, almost that much, and you can go ahead and see how it suits you. So we are going to be doing our burgers with fresh mint lamb meat and also camel meat. And the reason we chose camel meat is that it has a very warm nature, and it's actually very mustahab and recommended to have camel meat. So here we have 200 grams or 250 grams of lamb and minced lamb, and also 200 grams of the camel meat. I know that in many countries, at least I've never seen, like the countries that I've been to, I've never seen camel meat in the butchers. So if you ever do come to an Islamic country, definitely try it.
Fatima, I have a question. I mean, the mixture of both, I mean, lamb meat and camel meat.
Yeah. So usually in the West, they use beef, ground beef or mutton, which is cow's meat or cow's meat. That's most common. And I see that over there, a lot of people, they don't like sheep's meat or lamb. They say that it smells. I find that really weird. I've been cooking with it a lot, and I really like it. And it's actually recommended in the hadiths that use the milk of the cow, but not the meat of the cow. So go for lamb, right? And then we have our camel's meat. So I have a medium to big onion that I chopped nice and fine. So we're gonna add that to it. And don't be afraid, you know, like when I make this, some people are like, the onions are so huge, you're not gonna grind them. It'll be fine. And coriander, I love coriander. It just gives it a really, really nice touch.
And it's very necessary that the cultures that use a lot of herbs, and especially coriander and rayhan, which is basil, they have very much stronger hair and healthier skin.
Really?
Because if you think of the fibers,
Yeah. So I'm going to add one more egg. And remember, this egg is going to be the binding element. So we're just going to massage this a little. And then I'm going to add to this my garlic powder. You can also add fresh garlic if you like. My
Turmeric.
my turmeric. You know, actually, if we had saffron, I would add saffron to it. I know it's very Iranian, but saffron makes everything taste better.
Yes.
We're going to add some, actually, you know what? I have to take the gloves off, and I forgot to put the salt and pepper. So we're going to use sea salt. Please remember, sea salt is available everywhere nowadays. The smell, the benefits of using sea salt is comparable to nothing else. And I'm not going to say how much salt, how much pepper. I don't know, maybe you like little salt. Maybe you don't like any salt. Maybe you like it really, really nice and salty. So just go ahead and...
Which is not advisable.
It isn't, yeah.
If you want to live past the age of 40.
So just going to add some salt, sea salt to this.
That seems a lot of salt.
No, it's actually
No?
coming in very, very small amount.
Okay.
You know, there's also like salt from the Himalayas and so many different kinds of salts. Actually, you can add so many different seasonings to this mixture. You can add the garlic, pepper, fresh garlic. You know these allspices that they have?
Green chilies.
Green chilies, red chilies. And these allspices that they have over there. It's a mix of like all the spices. All right.
Over
so
there?
I mean, in the West.
Oh, okay.
You know, over there.
No, I thought, because spices, I thought maybe India you were talking about.
No. I mean, like, you know those mixed spices, allspice?
Yeah.
Not the allspice that you use in pumpkin pie.
Or you can make it into a tandoori hamburger.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, like I said, any culture. Like I said, I'm
Fusion.
Iranian. I like to add saffron to my hamburger. How crazy would that be? But it tastes good. Actually, it does. Yeah, it doesn't taste like much, but
the whole thing these days, I think, is about food fusion.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
I mean, not to putting, I don't know, a chili in gourmet sabzi or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So to this, I like mine really juice and really soft and really cheesy. So I am going to add some cheese, ground mozzarella cheese. You can add cheddar cheese. You can add Parmigiano, anything that you like. But I had this at my disposal. I'm not going to add much.
And of course, the fresher the better. If it's like
Exactly.
the one that's ground on, not ground, but grated.
And
freshly
also, I
grated.
just wanted to mention something. When you're buying cheese in the West or in non-Muslim countries, remember that there's so many varieties of cheese, thinking of which drives me nuts because I'm in love with cheese. But remember, like,
The rennet and the Pepsi.
the starter of the cheese. And also, I remember, like, once we went to this cheese shop and the gentleman who was working there said, oh, so we have this whiskey cheese. You got to try it. It's our bestseller. And we're like, hello, whiskey. Like, look at us. We're Muslims. And he was like, no, don't worry. It's all, like, evaporated and it doesn't exist in here. And I was like, okay, like, people actually buy that. I think people would buy that kind of cheese. So to this, I'm going to make these into patties. I'm going to shape them. So the best thing to do is to make them like, and let them chill and rest overnight in the fridge, okay? But we don't have the time to do it here, so I'm just going to shape them. And remember one more thing about making burgers is that they will shrink, okay? Because we're using lamb meat, lamb meat, so they will shrink.
And also, I think if you put soya in as well,
Yeah,
you know, you can add soya. And
It's-
also, I was wondering, what does it taste like? I've never tried it myself, but if you put ginger,
ginger.
does it work or does it not work in
Yeah, I think.
hamburgers?
Why not?
I don't
You
know,
can.
hamburgers itself.
Like a Pakistani burger. All right, so I'm gonna use these gloves. Actually, I don't like using gloves, but it looks better when you use gloves. And one more thing that I really wanted to say is that obviously I follow a lot of cooking programs, and people actually mix things with their rings on. I find that very disturbing, because your ring, no matter how many times you wash it, it's full of
Yes.
bacteria, and you go to so many places with that ring, you know?
Yes.
So take your rings off, please.
You
when
might easily leave the ring in that food too.
What is it?
You can easily leave the ring there
Oh
too.
my God.
Yeah, it has happened before.
Really?
Yeah, really. Not for me. I said I'm professional.
I think it's only good for when you're making a proposal to a woman, you know, leave the ring in the thing. A Western thing.
Yeah. All right, so I'm making patties, okay?
Yeah.
Now, remember that when you are making your patty, okay, it has to be like I said, it's going to shrink, so you have to make it quite big, right? I'm just going to make one, and then you guys can go on. Oh, and one more thing. So we'll be doing French fries as well, the healthy way, baked French fries. So I just put a pot of water over here, and it's come to a boil. I'm going
Yes.
to add about, say, a tablespoon of salt to it, depending on how many potatoes you want to fry. I'm going to, while you guys continue your discussion, I'm going to...
Are they going to be oven fries?
Yes.
They're called oven fries? Okay.
All right, so to have a better view, I'm just going to sort of clean out the table, and I'm going to put this patty that I'm making, hamburger patty that I'm making here, so you guys can see better.
Fatima, how many you want to make? How many patties you want to make?
Let's see, I think we can have 3.
So,
All right, so this is a huge patty,
Yeah.
because my bread is really big, and I'm not so sure, like, every meat is different. I think it'll get much smaller, but inshallah I'll be making 3. All right, so this patty is ready. We are going to chill this for like 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or overnight in the fridge. You're going to put it in a plastic wrap and put it in the fridge so it doesn't dry out. And also it sort of like sets, you know, the egg inside it and the cheese and everything. It's going to set, and the flavors will get married and combine, and they'll get really, really lovely.
That's
so
really great.
while you're gonna
Thank you
start,
very
I'm going
much.
to do the bell peppers and the
Yes.
mushrooms and the patties.
Thank
so
you.
please.
So, I bet she has, I mean, a better time than us here challenging over this. So far, so you think it's kind of possible that a woman do both roles? I mean, domestic and professional. Just let me get the answer of this question, yes or no, and then we can continue.
Well, of course, in these social issues, there is no yes or no answer.
Yes.
As I said, it depends. You know, it varies from case to case,
Yes.
from a woman to another woman. It depends on which phase of life a woman is going through, and a woman
Yes.
is experiencing. But as my friend, Sister Fatima, was saying, there is so much flexibility in today's world. You don't necessarily have to leave your home for
Yes.
long hours.
Yes.
I would preferably, I
But
think,
that's a possibility, am I right? So we are not actually building everything based on this possibility. Just so you can stay at home and make a kind of a job for yourself at home. So we
what
are
do you mean it's a possibility?
So it's a possibility. I want to say it's kind of impossible for all women to stay at home and make a business of their own at home. So
Yeah.
for me, it sounds very much impossible.
Well, yeah. If you are brought up with an Islamic perspective to
Yes.
life, you would go for branches in university, for fields in university that are proportional with feminine qualities.
Yes, okay.
Like, of course, we are living in a society, and the society has certain needs.
Yes.
As a woman, you are required to be present in certain arenas of social life.
Yes.
For example, if you, a Muslim society needs women teachers,
Yes. True.
women nurses,
Yes.
women gynecologists.
True.
So many women lawyers. Well, that's
for,
like
for women, you know,
Lawyer-
those, because sometimes, like in the family situations, nobody can understand a woman's situation like a woman.
yeah, but
Yes.
you know, the job of a lawyer is a very, very challenging,
If you have to be a
stressful
lawyer,
life.
if you have to be a lawyer.
Yeah, it really depends on the case, you know, and
Yeah.
where you are living, your life situation. Like we were previously talking with you. You said that if you have the flexibility of, you know, like to work on a case for certain amounts of hours a day, like 1 or 2 hours a day, that wouldn't harm your marital life or your child raising. You can easily, they can easily go along. So if you have that flexibility, go for it.
Yeah, I think when you think creatively, say, okay, nothing in Islam is so that you have to give something up completely. Allah wants us to use all of our, you know, capacity, and that includes figuring out a creative solution. Not, okay, it's easier, I just go and apply for a job. Okay, be creative, be the woman that you are, and think creatively about solving the problem and being the mother and your Islamic duties first. Allah puts the ideas there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So-
agree with her, with the view that you have to be creative. I mean, this world is full of possibilities right now. You know?
Yes.
You can
Especially
work.
today.
Yeah, you can work online. There are so different. There are different manners of, you know, with the same type of work, like being a lawyer. You can choose to take, you know, certain cases or certain branches of law that does not involve you so much with outside work
Yes.
or putting a lot of time for outside
Yes.
work. So all these are depend on the decisions that you take in your
Okay.
life, and of course your decisions go back to your worldview. In this life that we have nowadays, with full of options, and you can do whatever you want. You can pursue whatever goal that you want. If you're brought up with an Islamic upbringing, then you are prepared to be the realization of this beautiful verse of the Noble Quran in chapter Ar-Rum, which is the 30th chapter of the Noble Quran, that reads, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها.
Yes. Okay.
And of his signs is that he created mates for you from yourselves, that you may find rest in them.
Yes.
Rest,
That was the
peace,
whole thing, yes.
tranquility.
Yes.
The things that we can hardly find in today's world because of because of the changes that have happened, because of the changes in our value system, because of always pursuing
Yes,
material
exactly.
goals,
True.
always
Yes.
being greedy, hungry for more and more.
Definitely, yes.
So we have lost touch with the true values of humanity.
Sister Razia, what would you say to women who ask from, well, the West or the East actually, that working helps me to be a better wife and a better mother?
Yes.
Firstly, I know some very Islamic thinking women who, you know, go to work, and they're very Islamic about it. One example was one who established, you know, hijab and prayer room in a publishing company, for example. And she said, well, I think that I need this time in order to be able to give back to my children, because if I'm with them all day, I'll go crazy. So she used to, and it balanced well. Her children were, alhamdulillah, well brought, Islamically thinking, brought up. So some women may actually think that it helps them to have that time away. It's sort of their me time
Yes.
to work, because
Yes,
maybe they're just so
exactly.
comfortable at their work and they do it well, that it's not actually like going to work. It's more like their social,
Yes.
you know, something that they work on themselves with. And also the same thing as a wife.
Yes.
You know, if a woman doesn't feel or is sort of inside her resisting or rejecting the idea of staying home, but she's staying at home, how good of a wife can that be? In that case, I say let her go to work.
How
Isn't
can you
it?
be a better wife and a better mom by working outside?
Well, the way that I
what
just
aspect
explained.
of the job would help
Miss
you?
Shamili, actually, I
Be-
agree with
because
her.
your peace
Yes.
of mind.
Yeah, a lot of women, not just some women, a lot of women have the same ideas. I have been talking to a lot of women. I know even some women who go out of home for peanuts. I want to say for peanuts, for a little money. I mean, that money isn't even a big help to their life, but they just want to feel
Why?
better about themselves. I really don't know.
And
I-
Sister
I'm
Razia,
asking you.
sorry, the statement is a happy mother is a good mother. A happy wife is a good wife, right?
Okay.
Or a good wife is a happy wife, right? So if you're not happy, no matter if you're, even if you're staying at home, but you're not happy, it's better you go out to work.
That's a very good
You
point
know?
that you're
It
mentioning.
depends on the level that you've reached of understanding in
Yeah.
Islam too.
But I have a question too. What kind of happiness? Why would you be more happy working outside in order to be a better wife or mother?
Because
what
there
does
are
this
different
outside-
stages of understanding and different stages of submission. And maybe a person is doing all that she knows right now about Islam, but is not ready to stay at home because it's just, maybe it hasn't been her upbringing, maybe she's just not ready to.
Yes.
So in
Yes.
that case, absolutely, she should go
True.
out to work because she's not going to be any good as a wife or a mother.
Yes.
So you mean she's working on her value system? And
Miss
in
Shamili,
one
I
No,
think
she's
if I-
working
if
on
we
her
go-
emotional well-being,
Uh-huh.
and that's important.
Yes.
It's the most important because
You
if
have
we
to
don't do
see-
what we love in life, it doesn't matter how much you pray or give to your children. It's going to it's because the heart blocked is an unproductive person. Really, you can't really move forward unless you do it with love.
Yeah, of course, Islam is not against the working of women.
Exactly.
Islam is not against women's occupation as long as the sanctity of the family, the well-being. This as long as this condition is the determining condition.
Yes, Ms. Shamili, actually before going to Islam and Islam idea about working women, I really wanted to go through pros and cons of working women, because there are actually a lot pros and of course and cons of course. So I was hoping that you could actually catch up on some of them and cover some of them. Some of them are very much obvious. I mean, there is a long list of advantages
Like
and
what?
disadvantages.
Tell me.
Like off top of my head, fatigue. So it's something that
These are the
I have seen
negative
that a
points you're
lot.
talking about?
I said, yeah, my mom actually was a
Oh.
working mother, so I have seen that a lot.
Yeah.
Fatigue, which is very much obvious, screaming out there. But of course, I could see some positive points too. Am I allowed to say something?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
You
So
are.
something like the feeling that my mom had, a kind of a confidence that she had. When I was a teenage, I was not supporting my mom. Unfortunately, I was not supporting my mom as a working mother. I was all the time
Why?
complaining because I wanted to have her around all the time. When I come back from school, I wanted everything to be ready, but I really needed to make, a lunch for myself with my school uniform. And even I wanted to backbite and talk about my teachers and how horrible they are. So, but my mom was not around.
She was not there.
Yeah, she was not there. But when I grew up, I came to this conclusion that
Because
I
you got to experience
yes, exactly. I could
yourself.
be more supportive of my mom. So because
Little
she
bit late,
had
isn't
good
it?
feeling.
About this topic, can I just add something? I mean, I was the daughter of a working mom as well, and I think that I also felt like you. My mom was a teacher,
Me too.
and I never actually. She still is a teacher, and I was always like, why do you have to be tired when you come home? Like, why can't you be fresh and happy and la la la? And you know, I think you're talking about how a mother feels when she goes to work. I think it's also important to consider how the child feels. It's
Yeah.
not just about you, as in. It is important, yes, happy wife, happy life, happy mom, good children, la la la. I agree with all of that, but I think after you become a mother, the most important thing in your life is your child. I mean, it's not that you neglect yourself and you leave yourself. But
Yes.
what is that child feeling, you know? And
That's
it's just the
true.
few first years that matter so much. All those cuddles, it's never going to come back.
Thank you very much. That was so much true. And so just remind me to back to our list, pros and cons. So we want to go for a break. Stay tuned. We're going to come back.
Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tuned. We're going to come back. Stay tun
today's topic is about working mother. We want to know that what is the working mother's impact on our children. We know that these days working mothers move out of their homes and leave their children and all of the household chores left at home for earning money. Of course, it has some advantages and disadvantages. We want to think about and share our ideas, experience, and our knowledge about advantages, disadvantages, pros and cons of working mothers. Who wants to start to talk about this topic, if you have any idea?
Actually, can I just ask you what the purpose of choosing this topic is? You know, the purpose you can have by choosing this topic is that in a case that mom leaves house, what happens to her children? In our case, so many things can happen to her children, like finding bad friends, going outside, I don't know, facing criminals, and such stuff. But the good point of view I can just have for you is that in these cases, just try to going to be independent.
Okay, so who believes the quality versus quantity?
Well, the question is pretty general because it depends. When you first get married and you want to kind of build your life, buy a house or apartment, or you have free time, you know, you can manage to cook for your husband and at the same time do a job. But when you have children, it's a different situation.
Yeah.
So we have to, you know, we have to act in a different way. A working mother is a working mother, but when you say mother, that means she has children, right?
Yes.
Not a working wife. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But of course, there are.
So, what about the mothers? What about the mothers that can manage everything? They can do everything intact. For example, they can make balance between working out and doing the household chores. What about what's your idea about this?
Well,
About managing everything.
It's not all about doing household chores. No, the most important reason that you need your mom to be at home is, children are not emotionally satisfied. You need your mother to be there, cook for you with emotion, wash your, everything. You need your mom to be at home. I myself, for example, if my mom is not at home for even 2 hours, I'll be dead. I'm dead sure about it. Yeah, really. It's very important to have your mom at home.
Here we have a rule. I read somewhere that we have mother shower, more love. Okay? Both kind of reciting it, I think it can be correct. Mother shower or even mother shower. I'll explain it for you. Because if we say that or consider it as a mother shower, we can say that it's like a rainfall, all right? Mother shower comes and show herself. It is a little bit, but the quality is better. The love that she can share with the children is more. Or even we can recite it, mother shower. She shows herself a little bit in comparison with the homestays mother, but the affection and the love that she shares with the children is more than the other mothers. Please help me. How can you justify that a child of a working mother is more intelligent than the children of the mother who stays at home?
Mothers are role model for all the children, whether you're male or female.
We are going to talk about that, being a role model later too.
Most female, when a mother has a daughter, if the daughter sees that her mother has many opportunities in life and is not restricting herself to being at home from 24 hours and taking care of everyone else, then she herself is mentally being prepared to live life. For those, I come from the UK, and for us over there, working is not an option.
Yeah.
It is a necessity.
Yeah, exactly.
You either work together and feed the children, or one of you has to starve, in some cases. Now obviously in those cases, the children also are able to learn that there are more opportunities in life. They become more independent. Emotionally, at the same time that the children are in school, the mothers are working. The child goes to school from, let's say, 8 in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. Over there we have shift hours. The mother goes to work from 8 to 3. The child leaves the house, the mother's there. The child comes back home, the mother's there. There's nothing being missed. But at the same time, the daughter is learning that she should not restrict herself to a very small lifestyle. Because if you see, personally, if I stay at home for very long, I get very depressed.
The thing is, if a woman knows how to plan her life, she can manage. But if she gets in a mess at home the job is not done and the husband is not happy, what kind of a family life is it? The other thing, I feel that parents always say, oh, I want to give my children what I didn't have. Why don't you give them something you did have? A mother, or things, fresh air or good food. You know, give them what you had, not what you didn't have. They don't want it probably, but we want to give them something. Oh, I'm missing out. I didn't miss out. We had a mother at home. And when I got married, we had very little, but my husband said, I prefer little, and if you prefer little, it is better. And when I come home, if you go to work, he said, I'm working also, I'm tired too. And he has a tired wife coming home like he is tired. It's not family life. So he was against me working, and I never did work. I was young, and we managed with what we had. We didn't have high expectations, this and that. So, everyone is different.
Let me say, do you know that, I want you to regard to this issue that it was related to the years ago, okay? The situation, the time has changed. The needs and necessities changed also. Therefore, we know that the children of this age do not, cope with all kind of situations.
When your children are in the kindergarten, sometimes maybe you feel that they are not being trained the way that you like.
And they may be void of the mother's love and affection too.
Yes, exactly. So I think that if a mother is at home all the time, spending all the time with her little kid, I think that this kid has better opportunities, and because he or her is getting the full attention of the mom, and this is so precious. I think this is something that it's not very easy to find an alternative for it. Okay, so the kindergarten is not a very good alternative, I think.
There is
So,
an alternative. Shared parenting. The father parents for some time, the mother parents for some time. That way the child bonds with the father, that's just as the way the child is bonding with the mother. Again, in the West we have shift hour working. You have employers who actually give leave to fathers, especially for newborn children, where the father can take part of his wife's maternity leave and be at home with the child, bond with the child. So there's always an option of shared parenting. Yes, the mother's love is important, but we can't exactly throw the father out of the picture also. If the father's not there, then what is he doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome back. So we want to go to the kitchen. Fatima, what is happening there? How are the hamburgers?
The burgers are here.
What's happening?
Jumbo, multi-size, really extraordinary burgers with cheese inside them. So I'm just going to put them in the oven, all right?
Yes.
Meanwhile, I told you that I cut the potatoes into wedges. Actually,
Is that a
rather-
quarter pounder or half a pounder?
yeah, I think so. All right, so these are half cooked. The potatoes are half cooked. I'm going to drain them, and then I'll show you. So we don't want to deep fry our French fries, and then we want to show that you can have healthy French fries. So, oh, and the reason the water is yellow is that I put, why do I always forget the name? Turmeric. I put turmeric inside it, okay? So I'm going to bring my bowl near here, And I'm going to add this to my bowl. So to the water, I added salt. I find that very, very easy because the salt goes inside the texture of the potatoes.
Yes.
Okay. I am going to, I put salt in them. I'm going to add some pepper. Again, if you like to, you can add rosemary, fresh rosemary, basil,
Saffron?
saffron. Yeah, go for it. Saffron is really good for your health. Seriously, I was looking at the health benefits of saffron and I was amazed. Why don't I use more?
I feel that way about garlic, actually.
Yeah, I use a lot of garlic.
Garlic? Oh, God, if you can
Yes,
find a cake
garlic,
to
yes.
put garlic in, we'll put it in.
All right, I'm going to spray this with some good quality olive oil. We are not going to deep fry these potatoes. I'm just going to toss them.
Fatima,
To
what
make
is your,
sure-
Fatima, what is your idea about using olive oil for frying?
Yeah, there are different kinds of olive oils and some are good for frying. I never use, you know, like Crisco style of oil. I never use them because they're just looking at them. I'm like, look outside.
The thick solid oils.
They're
You don't use
solids.
solid
So
oils.
imagine how solid they would be in your stomach.
But I think if you give heat to olive oil, it takes away the
Benefits?
The benefits.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I heard
say
that you
that.
should know.
Maybe, but I've
Yes.
actually seen like in supermarkets, shops that sell like olive oil for baking and cooking and stuff.
There's also grapeseed oil. that you
Oh
can
yeah,
use instead.
sesame oil.
And
So
sesame,
here
but
I'm
that
going to be
has a stronger
frying
smell.
with
The
sesame.
same stories about sesame too. I heard, you're not supposed to heat, sesame
Really?
oil. Yeah.
Actually, I heard that sesame oil, it can tolerate a lot of heat. So
One kind of oil that is really good is the oil that they get from the animal, the shah oil that
Yeah,
they
ghee.
get it, the ghee.
Okay, but isn't that the Crisco type you were talking about?
but it's not like it's from like a natural source, you know. Crisco is artificial, isn't it?
Islamically, I heard that the ghee is really beneficial for the body too.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I heard the other way around as well.
Really?
So I don't know what the riwayah says on it, if we should use
I
it
heard
or
really
not.
good things about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so there are my potatoes. Actually, I think they've boiled a little too much, but I like them a lot like this because they're so soft in the center, and you see all these little pieces, they're going to get really crispy.
Crispy.
So
exactly.
in
I wanted
goes
to say
the
that.
potatoes, in goes the burgers. But I want to go on to the next step. I'm going to be frying my mushroom. So you said, Roya, what is it? Is it a mushroom burger? Is it a cheeseburger?
Yes.
It's actually both. Don't be afraid of using, don't think that you need to use always non-stick pans, okay? If you heat copper pans that we actually have here, they're not going to stick. They shouldn't stick.
Ooh,
So
that's hot.
Bismillah. Yeah, copper gets hot really fast.
Yes.
Really fast. Because
But it's much more healthy to cook in.
and it's like a heat transference, something like that.
It's a metal.
So,
metal transfer.
see, it hasn't stuck here, right? So I'm just going to add some salt and some pepper. And I think it needs a little bit more of oil. So I'm going to do the same thing with my bell peppers. If you like, I'm just making luxurious burgers today because that's how I really like them. It's like don't have burgers or have them really nice. So I'm going to fry these mushrooms and then I'm going to start chopping my beautiful bell peppers. And then we'll be back when these burgers are baked in the oven
Thank
with
you
the
very
French
much.
fries. Inshallah.
So, but let's go to our list, the list of our pros and cons. First of all, I want to know whether we have a concrete list of pros and cons first. And second, whether this list, changes from family to family, society to society. So, am I clear?
Yeah.
Okay,
I got
so.
your question. Okay, you are asking a complicated question to which the answer is not so simple. So many research work has been done about the impact of mother's employment on children,
Yes.
the positive and the negative.
Yes.
Well, as a daughter of a working mom myself, the things, as I was going through the researches that were done, like as a working mom myself, I can tell about my own experience. But the list may not be so comprehensive and concrete. It can go on and on. But about the negative outcomes, well, you always have the working moms usually have this sense of guilt.
Yes.
That's because they're leaving
Yes.
their kids behind.
Oh, so much true, yes.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you have to wake up early in the morning at 8 o'clock. Or
Yes.
you have to be at work at 8 o'clock, so you have
Yes.
to get up at 6 o'clock,
Exactly.
drag that poor child
yes.
up. You know, if he's sick, if he's not sick, doesn't matter. You have to
Yes,
take him to
exactly.
kindergarten. You usually, working moms, the stress and pressure is more on themselves
Yes.
than anyone else.
Yes, true.
The burden at the end of the day, at the end of the time, is on themselves.
Exactly.
They have to go through all this pressure.
Yes, true. Yes.
So they have to get up early. They might not have. They might not even have the time to have breakfast.
Yes.
Get that child ready. Usually, in the countries, in many countries,
Yes.
the place of homes and the workplace is a this like maybe 1 hour drive.
Yes.
Drive to your child's kindergarten, come back. So 2 hours is just on the way,
Yes.
commuting. So that's one of the problems. All the stress is on you.
Does it have to be like this?
No, I'm saying that this could be, you're saying it's different from
Yes,
society to
exactly.
society, from
Yes.
case to case. This is one of the possible problems of working moms. So you have to work for long hours.
Yes.
Okay, let's say from 8 or 9 in the morning until 3 or 4.
Yes,
So
exactly.
you get, a woman has a feminine figure.
Yes.
She's not a Hercules.
Yes.
She's not as strong and tough as a man. All this pressure of outside work is on her. She has
Yes.
to tolerate it quietly.
Yes.
And then when she comes back home, she has
Yes.
to, no one understands. You have to be fresh. You have to give service to everyone.
Yes.
At the end, you have to play the role of a mother
Yes.
because, your child needs you.
Yes, exactly.
This is one of the other drawbacks. But if you're an unemployed homemaker,
Yes.
if you're a mom at home, because I got to experience it myself. You can get up whenever you want.
True. Yes.
Without any stress, any pressure.
Yes.
You set up the table for yourself and your child. You have a beautiful, healthy breakfast. You can talk to your child at the table. All these are little points. These might not be even significant, but all this energy that you're giving to the child, the positive, you will see the positive feedback. So you can play with your child. You can read books to your child.
Yes.
You're at home, no
Yes.
stress.
That's true. Exactly.
That's
true.
This is a very simple fact.
So you think this guilt feeling is authentic, and so that's what a mother has to carry.
Yeah.
So there is no getaway. There is no getaway. I mean, this is always there. The guilt feeling.
No, it could be. You can omit this guilt feeling by how you set up your life.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. I think something that in an Islamic country, I'm talking about because I want to talk about government policies
Yes.
to help moms, give moms flexibility of work.
Yes.
So it may, even in non-Islamic countries, the government politicians are so concerned about this issue of working moms.
Yes.
And they are going through programs. They are trying to work on programs that give mothers flexibility of time so that they can spend more time with their kids.
Yes.
So one thing that as I was looking through one research finding was that boys and girls of full-time employed mothers
Yes.
have less traditional gender role attitudes.
Yes. Yeah.
It means that when you see your mom at work, and usually husbands of working moms, you know,
Yes.
the father has to play a more active role if they want to, you know, have the family go
Yes,
smoothly. They
exactly.
have to both participate in the all the responsibilities of a house. In other words, it happens in many cases that the mom has to work outside,
True.
and because in some cases, in certain conditions, she gets to get a better paid job, they can talk, and the man. What I'm saying is that this is happening in the West.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So what happens is that the man says that I can stay at home.
Yes.
And I can take up the role of child
Yes.
rearing, child raising. I
Yes.
can do the housework. You be the one who be the breadwinner.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So what is the result? How does this affect the mentality of our children?
For me, of course, it sounds very much negative. It's like confusing the role of, father and mother. So father is a father. So, and of course, I want my mom to be, my mom, like, when I need someone to talk to, I go to my mom. Or when I actually want a masculine power behind myself, I want to go to my dad.
Yeah, but this is not happening in the West.
Yes.
They're saying that we have parenting roles. They say that whatever the role of the mother is, the role of the father can be the same.
Yes.
And this is really bringing a lot of confusion. So the child, as the research has, many researches have been done, the children of these families are brought up with the mentality that my mom is a competent woman.
Yes.
Of course, in that perspective,
Yes.
it's a positive perspective if you're looking from that point of view of
Yes.
egalitarian roles, no gender role distinctions for men and women. If
Exactly.
you're having that mentality that whatever the man does, the woman can do the same, even she can do better.
Yes.
With that mentality, then this is a positive outcome from that point of view, from that lens. That the children, the boys and girls of such families are brought up with the mentality that my mom can do the things that my dad can do, and my dad can stay home. And when I grow up, when I get married,
Yes.
my life partner, I have the same expectations
Exactly.
from my
Yes.
life partner.
That's totally
Everything
true,
is
of course.
changed in the family
Yes.
structure.
Yes, true. Thank you. So this list can go on and
Yeah,
on.
I have more
so
to say.
Yes, of course. But let's go to Nasreen. I'd like to have Nasreen idea about this too.
Yeah. Hi, welcome back to me. Well, we always go to our social media to find out what people outside are asking, mothers or ladies in particular, in general. And we have 3 questions here that are being asked. The first one is in relation to working mothers in particular, but it can apply to men too. Is it permissible to shake hands with men if a woman has a fear of being fired otherwise? So, of course, I presume this would not be in America or Canada, because they have laws that prevent firing for these reasons, but there are countries that they would. So that was the first question, that is it permissible in the Islamic law that we shake hands with men, if you're a woman, if you fear that you're going to be fired otherwise. The second one is, can a Muslim woman, nurse, touch a non-mahram man, there's no problem touching a mahram man, of any faith, whether he be Muslim or non-Muslim, in her practice? Is it allowed and permissible to do so? And that would be also the case for a man. So we're going to get, of course, the answers in a minute, but the third question that was asked, it refers to working in restaurants or retail establishments where you might have to serve alcohol or God forbid, pork. I don't know which one's worse, but anyway, pork or alcohol, and even something that's a little bit more less talked about is magazines. if a magazine has an immoral content, and then I suppose we have to talk about what is considered immoral content, because in Islam even, you know, showing your hair or your legs or whatever, but I think there's, you know, levels. So is this allowed to sell them, or to even carry them to the table in reference to the alcohol or the pork? So we're going to get our answers, not from me of course, from our experts, and find out the Islamic ruling on this, this subject. So let's find out what the experts say.
Assalamu alaikum, in the name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful. Well, for example, imagine that you work for a company or in an institute or something, and you are kind of forced to handshake with a lot of people, including the other genders. It means like you are a man, your boss is a woman, or you are a woman, your boss is a man, and you need to handshake with them, or you need to do a couple of things which you know you are not allowed to, but if you don't do them, it causes kind of harm. It causes kind of difficulties in your job situation and the occasions that you are facing. The answer is we can do a couple of things to remedy this. For example, you can wear gloves, and after that you can handshake with your boss. If you're, for example, your boss is a woman, you are a man, you can handshake with your co-workers if you are wearing gloves. If you don't want to wear gloves, so kind of without wearing directly, you want to have a handshake, so you are touching them. You cannot do this only in under one condition that's possible. And the condition is if not doing this makes your job or makes your life very hard for you. If you think if you don't handshake, then they won't respect you anymore. You probably get fired from your job, and if that happens, your life becomes intolerable. You cannot continue. It's not possible for you to go on. If it's like this, you can do that. But to be honest, actually, most of the situations, it's not like this. If you believe in yourself, if you do whatever you want, which in your religion are accepted, most of the situations people will respect you, because the same thing happens actually about other people which have other religions. If they want to act according to their religion, other people respect them. Also, you are a Muslim and you want to act according to your religion, other people will respect you. But in some very exceptional areas, it proves difficult. If the difficulty is too much high, intolerable, you cannot do this. If you don't handshake, if you don't touch them, if you don't, for example, embrace them, it means that you are not a worthy worker there, and they will fire you, and it proves to be very hard and difficult for you. Then yes, and that only under that condition you can do this. Also, another frequently asked about the job of nursing for men and women. We know that in a couple of hospitals in European and American countries, maybe most of the hospitals, even in Iran, if you are a nurse, for example, a female nurse, they are ordered to take care of a male patient, or a male nurse is kind of ordered to take care of the female patient. Now we want to talk about the boundaries of this matter, the limitations. What can we do and what we cannot do? For example, if you are a male patient, you know that it is not possible for you to touch females, and you cannot touch them, any part of their bodies, because you know it's haram. But there are a couple of conditions that are caused here. Some nurses say, and they ask us that, I cannot find any other hospital. Any hospital that I go, the system is the same, the rules are the same. If I am a nurse, I am ordered to take care of the patients, whether they are male or female. So in this case, if you don't have any other ways around this, if it's necessary for you, because simply we know that finding a female nurse is easy, and the hospital, if they want to do that, they can do that very easily. But if it doesn't happen, and out of necessity you need to be a nurse, then you can do this. But there are a couple of things that you better follow that. You need to follow that. First, if you want to touch them, you can wear gloves. you better not to take a look at the parts of the body which is not needed. So don't take a look if it's not needed. Don't touch any part of the body if it's not needed. You can only touch the parts that are needed to be touched in order to find a symptom or try to make them better, make them feel better and kind of cure them. So use a glove if it's possible. Otherwise, if it's not possible, then you can touch them. And for females also it's the same. But it is harder because working for female is another complete different matter, which we need to talk a lot about that because there are a lot of complicated stuff here which we need to cover in probably next episodes. It is commonly asked how we can treat in restaurants. It means like if you are like a server, you work in a restaurant, can you serve pig's meat or can you serve wine to the other people that are coming in a restaurant and they want to eat or drink something? Well, to talk about this, selling or serving, for example, meats, there is a exception here. If we are talking about pig's meat, no, you cannot sell it, you cannot serve it, you cannot do anything that associates with it. If we are talking about wine, you cannot sell it, you cannot buy it, you are not allowed to serve it to anyone in a restaurant. So in these two cases, you cannot do anything that associates with them. So if you work in a restaurant and your job is a server or your job is a person who, for example, washes the dishes or washes the glasses that are served for the wine, no, it is haram, you cannot do that. But only if you are talking about other animals that are not killed in a religious custom, which we call dhabh shar'i, you cannot sell them to those people who don't believe religious condition is needed. For example, to Christians. You are a Muslim, but you can sell the sheep's meat which is not killed religiously, which has not have a dhabh shar'i to them. You can sell them. But about pig or wine, no, you cannot do anything that goes around them. It is absolutely haram. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
So let's go to the kitchen. The smell is giving us this, the mushroom is done and the smell is really delicious.
Yeah, so it's actually a combination of smells because it's the burgers baking, the fries baking, and the mushrooms are done. I don't know if the camera can show it.
With vegetables, there's a limit as to how much we should cook them.
How long they should cook them, that's right.
So what about with mushrooms?
Actually, hamburgers, to be honest, they're not like really healthy food. So we're trying to add these vegetables to it to make it a little bit healthier. But
if we cook them too much, then it'll defeat the purpose.
Because like I chop them really, really thin. Okay.
So should they be? Does it kill all the nutrition in mushroom? I don't know how fungus works.
I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah.
And by the way, I wanted to tell you that the oil that I'm using here is a mixture of olive and sesame, good quality olive oil and sesame oil. And you know what? Invest in good quality ingredients because instead of spending on the doctor, you spend on good quality ingredients. So I have my beautiful chopped peppers.
Actually, my father, who was a homeopath before he died, he used to say that, you know, whatever you don't spend on food, you will end up having to spend later on the doctors. Yeah. So
I'm just going to wait for the pan to get hot because like I said, look, nothing has stuck to the bottom. And it's really, really like so many people are afraid of using like something other than non-stick pans, but these work perfectly. So now it's sizzling a little. I'm just going to add my peppers.
It's just because of the beauty you are using different colors. Am I right?
No, I think
the
they
taste
have
is the
vitamins.
same.
Like
They do.
The
They
red,
do.
I think, have more
The taste
vitamin
is
C,
different?
no?
Exactly, yeah.
And the orange, I don't know.
I
Maybe
know that
vitamin A.
they have different
like
vitamins
eating a
in
carrot. I don't know about orange, but what about putting it on fresh? I mean, the
You
crunch.
can if you like. You can if you like.
think-
And of course for these, the best like time to cook them is so they're like al dente, as they say, so they're like a little crunchy. You don't make them like crush them super
so that
soft.
the color have gone, yeah.
Yes, just so they get a little light in their texture. Meanwhile, I'm going to take my bread And I'm going to start slicing it. And I want to say something. You know, when you make burgers at home sometimes, inshallah, actually, Sister Nasrin pointed to something good. Why don't we do them with whole wheat buns or like brown bread? We should do a program on like how to make the buns at home. These were the ones that we bought them ready from a bakery. Remember that when you're doing burgers at home, it's very important that when you cut it, you sort of like you don't like fry it, you put it in the oil and it gets a little crispy. Otherwise, with all the sauce and the tomatoes and the cheese and everything that you're going to put in there, it's going to get really, really soggy and mushy, and it's not going to be good for anything. So I'm going to take a big serrated knife.
Soggy hamburgers.
Really? I'm going to take a big serrated knife. I'm going to put my hand on top, and I'm just going to
the
start.
best for feeling the cut.
Yeah. And while we're doing this, I wanted to say that, you know, when you make food for your family at home, besides the amount of love that you put in it, really you can, like I heard this idea that you can devote every day of your baking to one of the imams, you know? And don't think that, for example, if you want to cook and you want to get thawab or reward, you have to do it, give it to all the neighbors or go to some like masjid to give it out. Your family, you know, just the impression that their mom is cooking this food while reciting dhikr, while remembering Allah, while saying salawat, you know. These are all, they will put their energy inside the food. They will have their effect inside the food. And eating time, and nowadays, you know, life is so hectic. Everybody's so busy, going to work, rushing back home. Oh, I'm tired. You never have time to like sit with your kids. When you're sitting at the table, that's the best time to bond.
Yes.
So really put time on the cooking and baking. And if you look at it in that way, it won't be like, oh my God, now what do I cook? You know, it'll be like, okay, so what do I cook today to bring my family in?
It's a big question that starts from the early morning. So what I'm supposed to cook for lunch?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really the
And
worst
you know,
part
to
of
teach your
cooking,
kids,
what to make.
to teach your kids from childhood to help you out. You know, if they see their dads cook, the kids will learn to cook as well. It's really like they will follow after their mother or father, or sometimes it works the other way around. They will get lazy, like, oh, mom's gonna cook the best food, restaurant style, so why bother? So
yeah, actually it does work that way.
Yeah.
I remember my father, he never wanted to go outside to eat because my mother did everything, you know, from
yeah.
the cheese, the bread, everything at home. No, we'll eat at home. Oh, great.
Yeah, I know,
So,
exactly.
I mean, when Nasrin was talking, I mean, a kind of idea was triggered in my mind. Shaking hand, or I don't know, with the bus or something like this. Give me this idea. One of the great or big, it's better to say, one of the big disadvantages of, working out of home is sexual harassment, which can be ranged from, a very simple, Eve teasing to a very big one. That dad actually leave the woman at the end of the day so much depressed. And from the other side, because I think other side of the coin, which is positive, I want to say something positive. A lot of women mention that when we are working out of home, it's kind of a confidence boosting. I mean, working out of a home gives us kind of a confidence that when I come back to home, I feel myself, fresh and more devoted to my family and my husband.
Okay.
So just look at the coin. Consider both sides.
Okay. I think you could have, your answer was in what Fatima just mentioned while she was cooking, that if you have this perspective to life, that as you are cooking, the energy, the positive energy that you're putting into this food, the smile that you're putting on the faces of your kids, the idea that you are investing on the future generation of a society. This is so important.
Yes.
You know, to bring up a son who will be a father later on in his life, that he can give all this love, energy, that he can set as a role model, as an Islamic role model for his kids. They don't teach the kids these things at school.
Yes.
You as parent, specifically as a mother and father, you teach them not by saying, okay, my son, sit here today, I want to talk. No, by your actions. From as simple as cooking. You know, all these are little things in life that might seem not important, might seem trivial, but they are the keys
Yes.
to the happiness of
Yes.
a happy life.
Yes,
This
that's
is this is the truth behind real happiness. So about your other question,
I mean, I said confidence,
Mhm.
or I mean, working out of home
Okay.
either can give you confidence or
Yeah,
end up
exactly.
having the feeling of depression
Yes.
because of, I mean, sexual harassment
Yeah.
out of home, which
Okay.
is a lot.
About the feeling of confidence, why would you feel confident? What gives you the sense of confidence? Your mentality.
Yes, that's
That
true.
you are doing something that is useful. If you have this mentality that I'm working outside my home, I am, you know, serving this group of people, I am doing this much job, this amount of, work done. If I'm doing, like, if I'm an engineer, I have built this, constructed this building, or if I'm, you know, whatever occupation. If you're looking at that result, if this is the only scale that would give you confidence, that would set your value system, then yes, working outside would give you confidence.
Yes.
Because
yes.
if you don't have, if you think that, well, you know, I'm cooking, I'm wasting my time cooking for my kids. If you have this mentality that all this time and energy that you're putting for your children and for your family, you're wasting this time,
Yes.
and that there is no result out of it, yes, then you will get that sense of confidence only by working outside of your home. I mean, it goes back to your mentality.
That's true.
Let me give you some interesting narration, historical account. If we go back to many years back in history, at the time after the marriage of Lady Fatima and Imam Ali alayhi salam, the noble prophet visited the house of this newlywed one day, and Lady Fatima posed a question. He said she wanted to know, the couple wanted to know how the roles and responsibilities of inside and outside of the house can be distributed
Yes.
among this newlyweds, this couple. And the noble prophet said that, Fatima, you be in charge of the actions, of all the activities, the tasks and responsibilities inside the home, and Ali, on your shoulder will be the responsibility of outside work. And
Yes.
the response of Lady Fatima was very nice. She said, only Allah knows how happy, how content I became with this kind of distribution of roles and responsibilities. And and it's interesting what she says, what she provided as the reason for this happiness. She said, I want to answer the second part of your question, that working and employment of women involves contact with men.
Yes.
And contact with men brings with itself a lot of complexities, a lot of problems, a lot of stresses on the part of the woman.
Yes.
Look how 14 centuries ago, how she
Yes.
provided the answer. She said, let me read it again. No one except Allah knows to what extent I was pleased due to this distribution, for the noble prophet saved me from going through, from tolerating, from enduring the inconveniences of meeting other men, the non-mahrams.
Yes. Thank you very
This
much.
answers
That was really great. That
Thank
was
you.
really good. It was a perfect ending. Thank you very much. So we're gonna go to kitchen again, and I think this time the food is really ready, and the chef eyes are misty. Yeah.
We just have to work really fast here. We're almost ready to assemble the burgers. Assemble the burgers. How
Wow, look at
respectful.
that. That looks really great. And that over there is the onions. Are those fried onions?
Yeah,
over
those are
there?
fried
Okay.
onions.
But
Alright.
of course, we can be creative with the toppings too, right?
Anything you want. So-
chili, sliced chilies
Saffron.
on the topping.
No, I'm just joking. All right, so the bell pepper is ready.
Yeah.
The burgers are ready. And like I said, we are going to fry the bread here because we are going to make sure that they do not get soggy. Meanwhile, I have chopped some tomatoes for inside the the burger, some onions, some homemade pickles.
Cucumbers.
Yeah, pickles. And
Not
actually, it's really easy to make pickles. And inshallah, we're going to do one program about how to make your pickles at home.
Oh, that's
and
great.
yeah, inshallah. And these pickles, you know, there are like different kinds of cucumbers. These pickles are the ones that they have like these little dots around them. So the ones that are actually used.
I meant to say gherkins. I said cucumbers.
Oh.
Actually, gherkins. But they
And-
have different types. Some are sweet and some are more
Yeah,
sour,
that's true.
right?
And these are organic. They're from a farm. So that makes them even more special. And then we have our fried bell peppers. So I guess you guys can continue with your discussion.
Thank
I'm
you
just
very
going to have
much.
the buns fried, and then inshallah we will be ready
Thank
to
you very
assemble.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I noticed something during talking. So about kids confusing the role of a mom and dad. So for me, it means an equality. I mean, the equality of role for mom and dad. So, and this is bad. I mean, this is not acceptable, or you think this is not something positive to teach kids the equality of roles, or I don't know, even the equality of function of mother and father in home, I don't know, out of home.
Yeah. Well, the answer to your question again goes back to from which perspective you're looking at family life and the division of roles. From a Western perspective, from a feminist perspective, the egalitarian of the roles, I mean, no role distinction, no gender role distinction between men and women, that is what they want.
Yes.
And if you're an employed mom working outside, your daughters, your son, they get to see you. The daughters of such mothers get to see that their moms are so competent doing the things that their dads used traditionally.
Yes.
It's believed, it was a traditionally male role. Now my mom can do it.
Yes.
She's competent. Then, according to the researches that were done, the girl has a higher sense of efficacy. She feels that she's more effective. Because my mom is effective, I can be as effective as she is.
Yes.
Okay? But that is, if you're looking through that lens of equality of roles. But according to the Islamic teachings, as I shared with you, this historical anecdote from the life of Lady Fatima
Yes.
and Imam Ali alayhi salam, this is not what we want in life. Why? Why should there be different gender roles between men and women? Why should we expect the men, the males in our society, in our family, to do things, some of the things that women have to, do something else? Why do we expect different gender roles from the men and women in our society? Because as we see the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the world of creation. If you take a look at the things around you in nature, the different kinds of oceans, the sea creatures, the plants in the seas, the deserts, the animals, the creation of the day and night, moon and sun, you see that this beautiful system of universe has been created beautifully, and each and every particle, each and every creation is following in its orbit, is following in a specific path. Okay, all these planets in the galaxies.
Yes.
If 1 second the movement of one of these planets is delayed, then there will be a great catastrophe in the whole universe.
Yes.
Everything will run out of its system. It will
Yes.
go out of its orbit.
Yes.
So everything is moving beautifully.
Yes.
With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the entire universe based on His power, with His mercy,
Yes.
His might,
Yes.
and His wisdom.
Yes.
So we believe in the Islamic teaching that everything has been created with a certain measurement
Yes.
and is following a specific path.
Yes.
The same goes true with the creation of male and females.
Yes.
It's actually one of the beauties of creation, one of the powers, one of the signs indicating the power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine if everyone was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had only created males,
Yes,
or only
true.
females.
Yes, that's true.
So there was a idea, there was a wisdom behind the creation of males and females.
Yes, thank you. I want to say something else.
Sure.
I can make peace with the distinct roles of, women and
You cannot, or you
I
can?
can. I can make peace with that.
Okay.
So there are distinct roles for women and men. But I was thinking that what if one day when you are 50 as a woman or you are 45, so something happened, you lose your husband for any reason, death, divorce. So what about in that situation?
You're talking about financial
Exactly.
independence of women?
Yes, exactly. I am talking about that.
Okay. Well, the answer to your question is again very complicated because here we have the role of the governments, the supportive role of the governments, the supportive role of family, because in the Islamic system, family plays a crucial role in supporting. So in a truly Islamic society, if you're 50, your kids can help you financially. If they've been brought up with proper Islamic education, they wouldn't just leave their parents. They would feel responsible towards their family members, towards their moms or their dads. This is the role of the family that we can go on talking. But I'm just going to mention point to the points. The other solution to this problem is the support of the government.
Mm-hmm.
In many parts of the world, the government is providing money monthly to the elderly people based on the taxes that they get from them while they were working.
Yes.
So it's not like a simple answer like you should do this or that. It's like a complicated system going on, but there are numerous solutions.
So
one the
kind
government,
of a supporting
one family
system,
support.
supporting
Also,
system behind every woman.
Yeah, the supportive system of the government. Also, Islam does not forbid the education or the employment of women. I personally believe that as a woman, you certainly can have the chance to have high education, and then you can choose jobs that are not against the happiness or the conformity or against the harmony of your family. Like you can do so many things that are done at home.
Yes.
So you can at different stages of your life, you can have jobs that are flexible, that do not require you to spend long hours outside of home in contact with the non-mahrams.
Yes.
You can stay at home and choose jobs that are in conformity with your feminine qualities.
Yes.
There are so many things that you can do.
Yes, that's so much true. Thank you very much. Fatima, are you ready?
Yes, I'm almost ready.
So camera is all yours.
Let's go. So I just made a cone with parchment paper. So it takes the oil and it actually looks really nice. And I'm going to put it here.
Yeah, that looks really good actually.
Yeah. And then I'm going to take one of our burgers. So our burgers have rested now, and it's actually good to when you're having something that has meat, you actually rest it.
What effect does it have on it?
When meat is just cooked, it's really hot and it falls apart. So when it sets,
so it's too soft.
when it rests, it sort of sets.
I was going to ask about that. When they're big, the hamburgers, then they break
Exactly.
easily. So
There.
that's the answer.
So there we go. Oh, and before that, I just made sure that it's going to come off. I'm going to add my sauces. You can add whatever sauces that you like. If you like...
Or as many as you like.
as many as... Of course, it's healthier not to have these sauces. After all, they have preservatives and stuff. But a burger ain't a burger without
However,
sauce.
you can make them yourself.
Yeah. So
Then they're healthier.
I'm going to put some sandwich sauce or mayonnaise, or actually they have these special sauces that are for sandwiches. I'm going to put that, and then I'm going to put my burger on it. Oh. So I like it to be crunchy. So I've actually brought some deep fried onions.
Yeah, I saw the onions.
That actually really adds a really nice touch to it. I'm gonna add that.
And of course, Islam says eat at least an onion a day.
Really?
Yeah. And
fried,
eat,
raw?
Also eat it whenever you're
Raw.
traveling.
Yeah,
you
that's
should
raw.
Eat the onion of the city you're traveling
yeah.
to.
Yes.
Why? Because it picks up that bacteria of the city, so you don't get that food poisoning that you often get, or from the water even.
So I am
because it
all
has
up
it in
for
the
that.
onion.
So I really like onion.
All right, I'm gonna add my
Well, they're
lettuce.
healthy.
Again, gives a really nice crisp, and it's really fresh. And while I'm just assembling this hamburger, I wanted to give a comment on what you said, Sister Roya.
Yes.
You said that it's actually, if you're working, sometimes it's because like your husband, I don't know, may acknowledge you more, and or like your family will acknowledge you more as a capable person, you know.
Yes.
As you said she's a multitasker woman.
Yes, exactly.
I think that marriage, I mean, I firmly believe in the fact that marriage is not a place to cure your psychological issues that you've had all your life, you know. It's just when you get married, you have to sort of like, you always have to work on yourself and make yourself a stronger
Yes.
woman. And strength comes from within you. No man is going to respect you if you don't respect yourself.
Yes,
you know?
that's true.
If you're not confident about yourself, no man.
Yeah.
Even
I
if your
strongly
husband
believe in
loves
that.
you most, the way you feel about yourself, that's it. That's the bottom line.
The problem is that usually these days women don't feel proud about themselves when they're not
Exactly.
working.
Yeah.
I think that's an internal
Because,
issue.
well, that comes down to misplaced identity focus. Like, where do we find that we get the most satisfaction? And this is a misconception. And it comes from not putting Tawheed at the center. Because when you put Tawheed at the center of your existence, then naturally it goes from Allah to the duties towards Allah, the duties towards, and Imam Zayn al-Abidin has put the whole 50 duties from the self to, from Allah and then self and to out in society. So this builds the self-identity also, because you're taking care of your duties,
Yes.
and that in turn makes you feel confident.
And your duties are nothing more than bringing peace of mind to your life.
Well,
you
they
become satisfied with yourself.
do that,
and Allah
yeah.
subhanahu wa ta'ala becomes satisfied with you.
Yeah.
And something interesting
And
that
they're very detailed too, those 50 duties are very detailed.
Can I just come in between?
Yeah.
So the
No, we're busy talking.
Yeah.
You can't come in.
So
Just
the-
hand it over.
The burger is ready. We put the sauce, burger, tomatoes, pickles, onions, coriander. I put it on top. Don't
Great,
forget
that's
saffron.
great,
Yes.
The bell
What about
peppers.
some basil, Rayhan?
Chili? Would you like to add some chili?
Oh, of course.
I really like to
Nothing's
have a
nothing
closer
without-
look. I don't
Yeah,
know whether I'm
please.
allowed to stand up or not.
You
so,
might
but I
eat
wish
it.
I could get a closer look.
We're just gonna make it a little
So
fancy.
what is this for?
It's like a beach sandwich.
Oh, yes.
The desert sandwich.
Oh my God.
Sandwich in the desert.
Accessories.
And
voila.
It's done.
burgers are
Wow,
served
that's
in
great.
lifestyle.
Yeah, that's
So everybody
great.
come on over.
That really looks, what, one?
You want to go have
One
a
each?
Yeah, I don't know, am I allowed or not?
Come over and look, Omi.
Come over and look, yeah. And olives, we can put olives on
Oh,
too.
yeah, yeah,
One
exactly.
point
That's a
that
good idea.
as you were
Yeah,
cooking, I just realized was that previously cooking was like if you go back a couple of decades ago, cooking was considered as a low prestige job.
Yes.
You know, a cook.
Yes.
But people's mentality has changed because of the, you know, nowadays, there are so many television programs
Yes.
on, you know, cooking contests, cooking matches. You know, a lot of people are get together. Their talent, their skill is actually cooking. That has become into a
Yes.
valuable
Exactly.
profession.
Yes, that's true.
Motherhood, in the same way, you know, in many societies, motherhood has been degraded. It's been looked down upon, just like cooking.
Yes.
that was looked down upon many decades ago. But I'm saying that it's the cultural work. It's the mentality of people.
Well, this was, I think, an agenda of industrialization to get the women into the places that serve the purpose of the political system.
But if you bring back value to mothering, then no mother, no woman would feel ineffective or useless or with no identity, staying at home and taking care of the kids.
Yes, that's
just
true.
like how we look at cooking right now.
Yes, that's definitely true, of course. It's just mentality.
And you know, also we were talking about, you know, needing to go to work at the age of 45 or 50, like that's such an old age, I don't know. But don't forget, we've gained skills over the years. You know, for example, cooking. And there was a time, I think it was in the 45s or 50s in America, where they were creating their cooking book, that these southern women who love to cook would all, you know, want to make this cooking book. Well, you know, especially today, I don't know, we don't have enough ideas for cooking, and although it might seem like, oh, you know, another cooking book, but no, each cooking book that's like sort of like a legacy of this woman's life, that not just a cooking book, but you know, it's seasoned cooking.
And I think nowadays everybody's looking for fast recipes. You know, like when you Google, it says like there's one option, recipes that take less than 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, like they just want to just feed the
also
family.
the publishing right now is very, it's a very popular thing because they're self-publishing. So you can create your own with all the technology we have.
Yeah.
You can create your
Blogs,
own.
I really like the
websites,
point you're
channels.
bringing up, the point of being creative as a woman.
Yes.
In every stage of your life, you can be creative.
Definitely,
You
that's
can-
true. And of
And
course,
any
I think
manual skill can be turned into the knowledge of it. There's levels of learning, you know. First comes the cooking, then comes the teaching, like science and then philosophy. So, you know, a woman should just understand and grow, and then wherever she is, that's what she can do.
Yes.
It doesn't mean we don't develop because we're stuck behind the stove.
Okay, and finally, I want to say something. I think it can bring a smile to every Iranian girl, at least, that you wake up with the smell of your mom food, especially korma sabzi. So I think that's life. And of course, I want to just say, I mean, the mentality can solve a lot of problems, of course.
Exactly.
So that's the key. Do you want to go to the kitchen?
Yeah,
So I'm allowed to go to kitchen.
Come on, guys.
Just don't come too
Come
close.
on. You first? Yes, yeah, of course. Why not? Why not? Oh, innocent hamburger.
That's great.
Do we have something like this? Innocent hamburger?
Innocent hamburger? I
Yes.
think they were
Innocent, yeah,
actually quite
sure.
innocent. They weren't very sinful.
Okay.
We did like olive oil, sesame oil. So, ready?
Yep.
Say Bismillah.
Okay, so I think we need to say, goodbye to the viewers. First of all, thank you, all of you, actually. Great hamburger.
It was
talking.
really actually fun
Yes.
to watch it, to be a part of this.
Yes, I
because-
couldn't believe we can make hamburger
Yeah,
at home.
these PC jobs that, you know, end up one piece, you think, oh, so much work
That's
to do.
why I chose burgers.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you all very
Thank you,
much.
guys.
So thank you, our dear audiences. We are very blessed to have you. We want you to be in touch with us by an email, by text message, and of course we want you to give us your idea, and we want you to let us know what kind of recipes you like to be prepared here in our actually home, and what kind of a topic you like to be covered. So God bless all of you, and have a good time.
O God, bless Muhammad and his household, and attend to me with thy best attending in my neighbors and friends who recognize our right and war against our enemies. Give my neighbors and friends success in performing thy prescriptions and taking in the beauties of thy courtesy through acting gently with their weak, remedying their lacks, visiting their sick, guiding their seeker-fright guidance, giving good counsel to the seeker of advice, attending to the one among them who returns from travel, hiding their secrets, covering over their shameful things, helping the wronged, sharing kindly with them in goods, turning toward them with wealth and bestowal of bounty, and giving what is due to them before they ask. Let me, O God, repay their evildoer with good doing. Turn away from their wrongdoer with forbearance. Have a good opinion of every one of them. Attend to all of them with devotion. Lower my eyes before them in continence. Make mild my side toward them in humility. Be tender toward the afflicted among them in mercy. Make them happy in absence through affection. Love that they continue to receive favor through goodwill. Grant them what I grant my next of kin, and observe for them what I observe for my special friends. O God, bless Muhammad and his household. Provide me the like of that from them. Appoint for me the fullest share of what is with them. Increase them in insight toward my right and knowledge of my excellence, so that they will be fortunate through me and I fortunate through them. Amen, Lord of the worlds.